Whichever way you look at it, royals do things totally differently to you and I. Oh, yes, they do. I don't think they'll have fish and chips out the newspaper, do you? Well, I don't know. I think maybe Camilla would do. She looks that sort of girl, doesn't she? Possibly with a bit of gravy. We know also that she likes a simple meal of baked beans on toast. My sort of woman, actually. Cheap date, you know what I'm saying? But on a more serious note, a lot of people ask me, well, why, for instance, does King Charles decide to go on a week's holiday to Romania on his own, Transylvania? Why is he there on his own? Well, it's the sort of thing that Charles does. And I actually think this is the thing that works very well for the Queen and the King. They have different interests. She's very much a reader, likes to remain quiet, likes somewhere warm. He likes walking, painting, out in the hills, that sort of thing. Very much more a go-getter, you know what I mean? And I think really that's what's made their friendship, their marriage, their love for each other continue for so many years. It's interesting to note, though, isn't it, when you look at the bigger picture, that according to a very good source, it looks like Prince Harry decided to do this once again against His Majesty the King. And it's a very strange thing when you think about it, because the bottom line is, as we know, the King is now 75 years old, and more importantly, still in the very peak of good health. He has a lot of strength, a lot of energy. I thought we saw that during the coronation. Where did he get all of that energy from? Incredible. But as we know, the king is still very keen to make amends, or at least put the path back onto the right amends with his youngest son. And according to that source, did invite Prince Harry for a week alone out to Transylvania, literally just those two. You see, according to that source, he felt that, this would be a great way for them to bond, to reconnect. Nobody else around, air your views, shout and scream, bang the floor, whatever you want to do. But the bottom line is you can actually get your point over. You could understand. Now, if you're the king, as I said, he famously quoted as saying that both to his sons, don't make my final years difficult or a misery. You've got to give King Charles his very best to say that he's trying his very best to make sure that that's not the case. According to that good source, he never heard back from Harry, so assumed this wasn't the case. Obviously, though, Harry found time to return back here to London to take on the British press, something that's vital to the monarchy, to the king, the queen, and senior members of the British monarchy, because consequently, they're not going to take too favourably if one of the ex-royals decides to get rather nasty with them. It's just the way the business works, end of. But what is interesting moving forward is you can see that the king has not given up hope on at least trying to connect and find out what the root cause of the problem was. Now, whether Prince Harry doesn't want to discuss the root problem, because as he famously said, nobody's bothered to reconnect, to make a connection. According to a very good person, According to a very good source, Harry only wants the connection as a duo. He's simply not interested in being, well, on a one-to-one. He wants it to be Harry and Meghan. He sees them as a unit. That's his prerogative. That's his wife. But it's rather strange, isn't it? As I said at the beginning of this, the king is 75. How many more years will he get this wonderful opportunity? And wouldn't it be great now just to try and at least pave the way to make him a little happier in his brand new reign? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.